Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. I will have the clerk do the roll call for this evening.
Councilwoman Melly Garthwaite.
Melly Garthwaite, Council at Large, present.
Councilman Brian Locks is absent. Councilwoman Ann Heffernan.
Councilwoman Ann Heffernan, 1st District, present.
Councilwoman Ruby Melton.
Councilwoman Ruby Melton, 2nd District, present.
Councilwoman Sarah Akbarali is absent. Councilman Gary Donovan.
Councilman Gary Donovan, 4th District, present.
Councilman Edward McMillan.
Good evening, Councilman Edward McMillan, 5th District, present.
Councilwoman Dawn Callahan.
Councilwoman Dawn Callahan, 6th District, present.
Councilwoman Catherine Tucker.
Councilwoman Catherine Tucker, 7th District, present.
Councilman Christopher Vargo.
Councilman Christopher Vargo, 8th District, present.
Councilwoman Katie Muller.
Councilwoman Katie Muller, 9th District, present.
Councilman Stephen Johnstone.
Councilman Stephen Johnstone, 10th District, present.
And Chairman Nicholas Pascal.
Chairman Nicholas Pascal, present.
And we have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. First up on the agenda, we have a 6:50 public hearing in the Legislative Matters Committee. Chairman Vargo, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The time is 6:56. Your Committee on Legislative Matters is now in session for the public hearing on Communication D from the November 10, 2025 agenda from Mayor Dorinda Borer regarding an amendment to City Ordinance Section 101I, fees of the City of West Haven Fire Department, Allentown. Would anyone from the public like to address the City Council on this matter only? For a second time, would anyone from the public like to address the City Council on this matter? And for a third and final time, would anyone from the public like to address the City Council on this matter? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. The time is 6:57.
Thank you. You want to roll right into the next one?
Be my pleasure.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, the time is 6:57, and Committee on Legislative Matters is now in session for the public hearing on Communication C from the November 10, 2025 agenda from Mayor Dorinda Borer regarding an amendment to Chapter 156, Residential Landlord Registration, specifically Section 156-2B, increasing each notice of residential address change fee from $10 to $20, and Section 156-4 to increase the first violation fine from $250 to $500 and include the language, quote, or the maximum allowed by law, end quote. Would anyone from the public like to address the City Council on this matter? For a second time, would anyone from the public like to address the City Council on this matter? And for a third and final time, would anyone from the public like to address the City Council on this matter? Hearing none, the public hearing is now closed. The time is still 6:57, Mr. Chairman.
Very efficient. Thank you. No, yeah, we have to wait for the 7 o'clock mark to start the regular meeting, so we will be back in 2 minutes. All right, thank you for your patience. The time is now 7 o'clock, and we will enter into public session. Would anyone from the public like to speak before the city council? For the second time, would anyone from the public like to?
Good evening. My name's Rich Hebert. I live at 166 Bloom Street. And I just wanted to thank everyone here that's on the council and wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. And for those who are leaving, I want to thank everyone for their service because it's been a pleasure to listen to all you present your ideas. And that's what we need. Is we need a lot of new ideas, a lot of things that are happening in the city for a positive direction. And we're hopeful that continues. And wish you again happy Thanksgiving and blessings for the new year.
Thank you, Mr. Hebert. Would anyone from the public like to speak before the city council? For the second time, would anyone from the public like to speak before the city council? And for the third and final time, Mr. Brown. Buzzer beater.
Frederick Brown, 100 Smith Street. I'd like to take a moment and say thank you to all of you for your work this year. I think we had 2 very good years. I think the public is more positive about their city, and you all did a very nice job. I'd like to especially thank those of you the 5 of you who are leaving, Ruby, Katie, Nick, Stephen, and I'm forgetting somebody here. Brian. It was nice to get to know you, and you did a very good job, and I hope your voices will continue to be heard. They are very important voices on this council, and certainly as a member of the public, I can get up here and speak, and we look forward to seeing that. To those returning members, good luck over the next 2 years, and again, thank you. And I'd just like to say thank you to Nick, who, when I wanted to be a fire commissioner, was there with me. When I became ill, his sister-in-law helped me get back to health so I can stand here and do these things. And I know why you're leaving. It's a very valid reason. But you did a very good job. You took this council over in 2 difficult times. And you did a very good job getting us back on track. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to all of you. And best wishes. And have a happy holiday, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Would anyone else like to speak before the city council? For the second time, would anyone like to speak before the city council? For the third and final time, would anyone like to speak before the city council? Public session is now closed. At 7:02. All right. Once again, regular council meeting starts at 7:05, so we have 2 minutes we have to wait, so talk amongst yourselves. We will now convene the 11/24/25 regularly scheduled city council meeting at 7:05. I am looking for a motion to approve the journal of November 10th, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
Motion, do we have a second?
Motion made by Councilman Donovan. Seconded by Councilwoman Callahan. Is that who seconded that?
Cut you right out. Any discussion on that?
Sorry.
All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention here. Katie? All right, motion carries. All right, and when the clerk is ready, I will have you hand out the communications for this evening.
We have before us Communication A from the tax collector regarding overpayment of refunds for November 2025, which will be filed with tonight's minutes. Communication B from Michael Gormany, Director of Finance, regarding approval of a transfer of funds in the amount of $30,000 from unallocated contingency line item 1900990-56010 to Public Works Department Personnel line item 144047072-51000 for the adjustment to salary range for mechanics position being assigned to the Finance Committee, Chairman Vargo. Communication C from Mayor Dorinda regarding the reappointment of Paul Butler, 8 Alexander Drive, West Haven, Connecticut, to the West Haven Board of Police Commissioners. Mr. Butler's reappointment will be effective immediately and will expire on November 1st, 2030, being assigned to the Personnel and Civil Service Committee, Chairwoman Melton. Communication D from Mayor Dorinda Borer regarding the appointment of Robin Watt Hamilton, 92 Bedford Street, West Haven, to the Citizens Advisory Committee. Ms. Hamilton will be replacing Jeffrey Marino, whose term has expired and will be effective immediately and will expire on November 1st, 2028. And I just have a little typo in the Robin is Robbin in her name there. And that's being assigned to the Personnel and Civil Service Committee, Chairwoman Melton. And Communication E from Mayor Dorinda Borer regarding the appointment of Bridget Hosky, 326 Washington Avenue, West Haven, to the Parks and Recreation Commission. Ms. Hosky will be replacing Shannon Friel, whose term has expired and will be effective immediately and will expire on 8/1/2030. Also, Bridget's got a little typo in her name there. Bridgette is her first name there. Being assigned to the Personnel and Civil Service Committee, Chairwoman Melton. And Communication F from Mayor Dorinda Borer regarding the reappointment of Joseph Ficellio, 27 Eagle Place, West Haven, to the Planning and Zoning Panel of Alternates Commission. Mr. Ficellio's reappointment will be effective immediately and will expire on November 1st, 2027, being assigned to the Personnel and Civil Service Committee, Chairwoman Melton. And that concludes our communications for this evening, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will now recess into committee meetings at 7:08. First up, we have the Finance Committee, and tonight it will be Councilman Vargo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The time is 7:08, and your Committee on Finance is now in session. Council members present are Councilwoman Tucker, Councilman Johnstone, and myself acting as chair. First item on this evening's agenda is the finance update from Finance Director Michael Gormany. Mr. Gormany?
All right, good evening, everyone. On Friday, we emailed the October 2025 monthly report to the City Council. And just to go over some of the highlights of that particular report, right now in the general fund, we're still looking at balancing the fiscal year 26. Again, as I always start off these presentations, this is just as an estimate as of this point in time. Obviously, you know, we're forecasting throughout the year and anything can happen during the year. But as of October 2025, we were looking on par between revenues and expenditures within the October 2025 monthly report. The AFD, on the AFD side, revenues are looking to meet expenditures. We're right on par with collections on the fire district side, and on the sewer fund, we're also on par with revenues versus expenditures as well. On the general fund side, you'll notice on the report we started looking at some of the trends and some of the variances within that report. On the local revenue, so for local revenue, we consider that revenue that's set by ordinance or that we collect in-house. We talked to the building official, looking at building permit numbers and things like that. We seem to be on par for this fiscal year. Between the 5 permit categories, we budgeted around $2 million. So we're looking at collecting that revenue. But again, as I mentioned prior, this is based on project and construction that is sometimes out of our control. So again, while we're on par right now, we continue to monitor projects that he has in the queue, and we try to talk to the building inspector every 2 months just to take a look at his revenue. So that conversation's coming up again with him probably in the month of December. Like I mentioned at the last meeting, which you'll notice on the October report, one of our other local sources is our interest that we earn on our bank accounts. In the October report, we did see that slightly down. Again, like I mentioned at the previous meeting, that's based on market conditions, what our short-term investments are earning, and things like that. We do utilize different areas such as the Connecticut Short-Term Investment Fund, which a lot of municipalities do as well. But again, right now, interest rates and things like that are down across the banking side and in certain investments. So on the local revenue source, that's just one of our revenues that we continue to monitor. My assistant finance director looks at that every day and, looks at cash on hand and things like that. So he does keep me abreast of things like that. The other area that we looked at on the revenue side on the general fund was property taxes. Since we did switch over to quarterly taxes, our motor vehicle and personal property collection rates are actually very close to last year, even though we switched over to quarterly payments. On the real estate side, we are looking at that and working with the tax collector. We sent out a lot of communications related to quarterly payments and things like that. So we're looking at delinquent accounts versus our current accounts and analyzing that at the moment. But the overall tax collection rate is on par to where we were last fiscal year. So again, with this program being new, this is something that we're trying to wrap our heads around and see see how it's looking on a quarterly basis. We're also working with the fire districts as well because, again, we do collect their taxes and want to make sure that cash flow and everything is on par on their end as well. So, again, that's another conversation that's due in December with the fire districts. We did commit to meet with them every couple of months just to make sure they're meeting all their obligations and things like that. But again, quarterly tax payments, is again something we continue to analyze. I know that was a question at the last meeting as well. So we're still looking at that, but right now we're looking at how many accounts went from current to delinquent on people who may have missed. They're not used to that quarterly payment. So we're looking at those numbers and the shift in those accounts and trying to notify and communicate with those folks. Our tax office does send out notices. Again, we worked this year with Mike Walsh on just making sure we did e-blast, we did website communication, we did what's the system? Everbridge, I believe. We utilized the Everbridge, I believe, with the tax office. So we're just going to continue to communicate with taxpayers on the quarterly payments due. On the expense side, again, the biggest drivers are always vacancies versus overtime. So that's something that we continue to look at. We've certainly looked at monitoring overtime this fiscal year compared to last year. Last year we did have a few projects, like I know in finance, for example, we had reval and things like that aren't going on this year. So I'm seeing a decrease in some of my overtime. But there are, again, vacancies that are still occurring that may have some of the overtime numbers. The vacancy savings offset those overtime numbers, but we are watching those very closely on a department by department basis. So with that, that is the monthly report that I have for October.
Thank you, Mr. Gormany. Two questions I had. On the interest reduction, how much of an impact does that have on our budget compared to local taxes or other funding sources?
So we budgeted $2.4 million in this fiscal year. As of October, we were projecting to get 2 out of that $2.4 million in the reports. But we did have some other revenue sources that we did project to exceed budget. Not to cover that whole $400,000, but we were looking at like some of our delinquent accounts and things like that, having a little bit more cushion in there. So we have some revenue sources that may offset that decrease in that revenue source.
Are we otherwise in a position to absorb that if at the end of the fiscal year we do have a shortfall there?
Yeah, I mean, right now that what we're seeing, yes. Again, as I mentioned, anything, if interest rates and things like that dip further, then, we're going to have to look at some other, see if there's any other revenue sources or saving on the expenditure side. But again, we look at these forecasts every month. So, I mean, it was a bigger hit than we were hoping. But again, we still don't know what's going to go on with the market.
Okay. And my final question is on the increase in the delinquencies. Are we in the second quarter at this point?
Yes. So again, delinquencies. The second set of delinquencies because of quarterly billing hit November 3rd. That Monday after the 31st. I believe that's November 3rd. So that's when delinquencies hit. So again, we're sending out another set of notices on delinquencies and accounts and things like that, and we try to follow up with folks.
So I remember a couple meetings ago that you and I had a back and forth of you need an ability to compare apples to apples until we have a full year of quarterly.
Yep.
So you couldn't compare first quarter delinquencies with last year's half year payments. So now that we're 2 quarters in, is that what you're comparing?
Yeah, that's what we're comparing. I mean, we see various numbers right now and various trends on current versus delinquency and delinquency being up. But again, I think part of that also is folks not being used to the quarterly payments, right? You're used to going in paying in July and maybe not realizing that there's another quarter due. And when we talk about these delinquencies, remember, we're talking about people with non-mortgages, right? Because that's the folks who have to come in or pay online for those 4 quarterly payments, because a majority of mortgage companies still paid half until the city decided if this was going to be a permanent solution or not.
So are you finding that folks paid the first quarter but are delinquent on the second
Yes.
quarter because they don't
So
realize they have to make the
that's
second
what we're finding in the random sampling of accounts that we've done. We're finding that that some people that we're sampling are just delinquent. They may have just missed it. And what we're trying to do is reach out also with the notices, just because by state law we have to apply interest, and we're not trying to apply months and months of interest to these accounts, especially on a quarterly basis. So we're trying to reach out as best we could, because believe it or not, we only have addresses. We don't have phone numbers for some of these folks. So we have to do a lot by notices and things like that.
Right. Thank you. Just for sake of time, does anybody on the entire council have any questions? I'm moving up to everybody. Councilman Callahan, then Donovan, then Tucker.
Thank you. Good evening. How are
Good
you?
evening. How are you?
Very thorough job as always. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Quick question though, on the people that don't have the mortgage, and are making the payments, you said, there are some that are late. What is the percentage? Like, is it like 50-50? Is it hard to say? Is it like a handful? Is it more that are delinquent than are paying on time? I'm just curious because
I think
see if it
we've
works.
seen a good percentage. I don't have the exact percentage off the top of my head. Again, we've looked at just different accounts and things like that, just to try to gauge where we're at on the delinquency side.
So there's more delinquent than not?
Yeah, I would say, and that's what we want to gauge with the folks, and that's why we want to start that communication process. But again, I think also there's like I said, there's a point to this of people were used to paying in just July and
Correct.
maybe not paying it, even though
January.
the bill says the 4 quarters up there,
Right, right.
maybe
So it's-
forgetting or just not being used to having to make a payment in October.
Okay, all right, thank you. Well said, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Donovan?
Thank you, Chairman. I don't, Mike.
Hi.
Again, getting back to the non-mortgage residents, if they decide to, if they continue to pay they could still pay 6 months, correct?
Yeah, so you can pay half payments a year if you want. There's nothing that stops you. What we do is we just apply it forward.
Okay.
If
so
you
they-
paid in
but I
July,
mean,
we would
they're not,
apply it.
They're not included in the delinquent thing where they're
If
gonna-
they paid half the first
Right.
year, correct.
Right, okay. Thank you.
Councilwoman Tucker?
That was going to be my question. Do people have to opt in to be billed quarterly?
No,
Or is
so
it just open to anybody? And
when the council approves the budget, part of the budget process is how we're going to send out the tax bills. That's how the city bills you. Doesn't mean that that's how you have to pay. If you have $6,000 and don't want to pay it all in July, you can do so.
Okay. All right. And then the other question I had was about the Everbridge notice. What is that notice? Because you don't have everybody's phone number. So what is the Everbridge notices that are going out?
I'd have to get that with Mike Walsh, but it's a communication system, I believe.
Yeah, I
that
know.
people signed up with it. But our tax manager Rachel worked with Mike Walsh on sending out just a reminder of
So
taxes
reminder
being
notices are going out, but everybody clearly is not getting them because of the fact that we don't have all their numbers.
Yeah. Well, phone numbers are really, if we had phone numbers, we could follow up by phone. But we mail the notices to where the tax notices go. So,
So I guess what the reason I'm asking that is for the Everbridge communication, would it be beneficial in some way for there to be a place for people to, like if you wanted to get those communications that way, if people wanted to get them, is there a place where they can go to put their information in so that they can receive the Everbridge?
I can certainly forward that information to the city council. Unfortunately, Mike Walsh, our communications person, knows more about
Okay.
that system than I do, actually. So, I mean, I can actually get some information.
I mean, that might help people get the notices and might improve the delinquency if they're aware that's part of the problem. That's the reason I'm asking.
Okay.
But thank you.
All set? Councilwoman Heffernan, and then Councilwoman Melton.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Good evening. Hi.
Hi.
I know you shouldn't take news from Facebook, but I do read comments, and I did read that some people found it difficult to pay the quarterly online. I actually did it, and I did find it a little harder than what I normally. It was just like click and it went. When you paid it in the 2 sections, but to try to get it to load up, it wasn't as easy. I mean, I did actually do it, but I heard people say that they weren't able to do it. Had you heard any complaints from anyone?
No, honestly, this is the first that you're
You've heard-
mentioning it to
Yeah.
me, but I have no issue. I can talk to the tax manager this week, and we can take
Okay.
a look at the website and
Okay.
see if there's any issues that we see on our end.
It was a-
Honestly, I haven't heard
Okay.
that, so.
I thought maybe it was my own technical issue, but I did actually have at least one person tell me that they weren't able to pay it.
Okay.
And Thank you. Thank you for looking into it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Melton.
Actually, I'll comment on that. I had some difficulty, so I called the tax office, and they helped me. It's not intuitive, it's not easily apparent that you have that option.
Okay.
So I'll just, and that's not what I was going to ask, but I thought I would comment back on that. But on the quarterly payments, I know a lot of people like having that option, and so I'm wondering, you mentioned that you will put a proposal before the council for the budgetary during the budget season as to whether we should continue with that or not. Are you going to have enough information, or is it, it seems like this is sort of almost like a pilot period for this kind of program, and people are just getting used to it. So is that sort of something they'll take into consideration before pulling the plug, if that's something you feel like you may want to do?
So I think that's something that we talk about internally as we're going through the budget process. Throughout this year's budget process, as we're going through reval, in the mayor's message and everything else that we've talked about, we did say that this was for relief because of reval, but I think it's an assessment that we're doing internally to see what the next step with quarterly payments are.
Okay, thank you.
But it would be part of the overall budget process that we go into next year.
And so that would be when the budget is passed, that determination will have been made.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on the finance updates? Mayor?
Thanks, Councilman Vargo. I just wanted to add on the Everbridge, because you had the question on how do people come on. We actually sent a mailer to all homes, letting people know how to sign up, and it's on our website. So how to sign up for security alerts or citizen notifications. So we sent that, and then the other thing is I wanted to comment on the interest, because don't forget also as the ARPA funds have gone away, so does our interest diminish. So remember, we had $22 million we originally received, and then we aggressively have been spending it the last 2 years on all these different categories. So we're going to have to anticipate that in the budget so that we can, bring down that revenue from that interest.
Thank you, Mayor. Any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none. Moving on to Communication B from Michael Gormany, Director of Finance, regarding approval of transfers of funds in the amount of $30,000 from unallocated contingency line item 190009990-56010 to Public Works Department personnel line item 144040772-51000 for the adjustment to salary range for mechanic position. I'm looking for a motion to approve.
Motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Gormley, do you have anything you want to add to this? I understand that we are struggling with finding somebody to fill a specific position within the Public Works Department, and this will help bring that salary range back to up to market.
Yes. So again, I think my letter outlined kind of what we're doing, and you just gave a great summary. We're trying to recruit for that position, and just as some context, I had our budget coordinator and finance just contact those cities and towns on the letter to kind of see where they were to compare it to West Haven. Again, what I'm looking for the city council is a transfer of $30,000 to increase the starting salary of the mechanic position. I am coming to city council because in order to finalize negotiations with 681, I need to have the transfer approved, but we're looking to bring the starting salary closer to par of the average, which is listed there. But again, as you mentioned, we're having a tough time recruiting mechanics, and they are vital for our fleet operations and making sure our vehicles and equipment keep operating, especially during seasons You know, we're coming up to the winter season, and you know, so these positions are vital, and we have to be attractive from a salary and benefit standpoint to attract people to these positions. So this is one of the ones that we're looking at and working with the union in increasing the starting, which means increasing the last step. And again, the letter mentions 2 other positions because the mechanic position does affect 2 other positions of the welder mechanic and the lead mechanic as well. So that's why there's an overall transfer of 30,000, because that's for adjusting the salary for the folks in those 3 positions.
That was actually going to be my question. That this isn't a 30,000 increase to one.
Yeah.
One.
So we have 4 mechanic positions budgeted, and I believe 2 are vacant, and then we have 1 lead mechanic and 1 welder mechanic.
So the intention is to spread the 30,000.
Yes. So
proportionately above.
Again, working with the union and finalizing negotiations. If the city council was to pass this, those 6 positions would all see a fluctuation and increase in salary.
Okay, that was helpful. Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions from the committee?
Is this? I don't. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I
Give me the
agree.
nod.
You know, you've heard my plea is that everybody's salaries are matched to the market rate. So I completely agree at this point that this needs to happen. I guess I'm just curious about when the contract is up for negotiation going forward, because I know this is an amendment to their current union contract, correct?
Yeah, this would be an agreement with the union on this particular position that would be incorporated into the current contract. I believe the 681 contract is up June 30th of 2026.
So this is going towards that.
Well, this is
negotiation.
now, and then, like I said, when we begin the negotiation process, any type of modifications to this existing contract like this one are taken into consideration with those negotiations moving forward. So again, this is now and moving forward with these positions.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Gourmet, do you see that there might be any pushback from the union on other positions that are not of the 6 that you're specifically speaking of? Do you think that this is going to put them disproportionate to anybody else?
No, not that I've seen. I think the union realizes certain struggles with hiring certain positions. I think, you know, that's one of the things that we try to look at during the negotiation process with these unions when the contracts come up. But again, I think when you have certain positions, because again, certain positions are close to market and certain positions are far away from market. So I think the union has been helpful in working with the city when certain situations like this come up. And then I think when the contract negotiation starts, that's really when we start to look at the overall union itself.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Gourmet from the committee? From the council? Councilman Garthwaite?
Yeah, I want to say that I'm really in favor of this. I was in favor of this when Councilman Locks had brought it to the council's attention during budget season this past year. And I think that it should have passed during budget. It's unfortunate that it will pass now because we did lose a really great employee over this. And, you know, the fleet supervisor was very thorough, and he was very passionate about pleading for his mechanics. And now we've lost this great employee. And here we are now, we're finally doing what we should have been doing. So I'm very much in favor of it. I'm just sad that it is now when it should have been then. And those are my comments.
Mr. Gourmet, I thought that we did increase.
So we did increase the mechanic salary during the budget process. So we increased, so believe it or not, on this starting page where it says 65 was the starting, that was actually the revised and negotiated piece during the budget. It was much lower before we started the budget process. But again, we're looking at now another salary comparison of different towns and why, you know, we may not be attractive besides just the money piece as well.
Right.
So the money piece is part of it now, and we're going up again in trying to recruit and retain, to be honest with you, recruit and retain, because again, it does affect some of our current employees in those positions as well.
So just to be clear, that we did make the adjustments that the department did ask for, but we're learning that it wasn't sufficient, so now we're being asked
Exactly.
to revisit.
Correct.
Okay.
So we did as soon as the budget was passed in July came, myself and the chief of staff worked with the union to get an MOU signed, increasing based on what we did in the budget. But like you said, it just didn't suffice in what we're trying to hire, you know, a quality mechanic
Got
for
it.
the city.
Thank you for that clarity. Are you all set?
Yeah, I'm sad. I just, like I said, it should have happened sooner. It really should have happened sooner so we could have saved our fleet supervisor, because that's what pretty much caused him to leave. So those are my comments.
Anyone else on the council have any comments or questions? Mayor, do you have anything you want to add?
I just want to add one component to this. So, our fleet supervisor did leave. That was a combination, but also he retired. He was over 70, and he had 55 years of service not with us, but, you know, in general. He was very well qualified, but we promoted one of our mechanics. So, he's very qualified. And so now this leaves an additional gap in our mechanics. So we did increase it at budget time, not necessarily enough, because we still haven't been able to recruit mechanics. And now that he's going into the supervisory position, which we congratulate him, that leaves another vacancy. So it's even more critical now. And as Michael said, you know, our fleet mechanics are underestimated, but they do our plows, they do our police, they do a lot of our functions, and every city vehicle we have, all of our trucks and everything. So we appreciate the consideration.
Thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Gormany? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gormany. Appreciate you being here.
All right.
Have a very happy Thanksgiving.
Everyone have a great holiday, and I just want to say it was great working with this city council. Thank you to everyone who's leaving the city council, and look forward to working with everyone who's going to be here.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. All right, within the committee, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Mr. Chairman, the time is 7:37. The Committee on Finance is closed.
Thank you very much. That brings us up to legislative matters and allows you to keep talking. So back to you, Chairman
Nothing
Vargo.
I don't like anything more than that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Time is still 7:37. Committee on Legislative Matters is in session. Council members present are Councilwoman Tucker, Councilwoman Melton, Councilman Johnstone, and myself acting as chair. First item on this evening's agenda is Communication C from the November 10, 2025 agenda from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding an amendment to Chapter 156, non-residential landlord registration, specifically Section 156-2B, increasing each notice of residential address change fee from $10 to $20, and Section 156-4 to increase the first violation fine from $250 to $500 and include the language, quote, or maximum allowed by law, end quote. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Up next is Communication D from the November 10, 2025 agenda from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding an amendment to City Ordinance Section 101I, fees of the City of West Haven Fire Department, Allentown. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Unfortunately, Mr. Chairman, my time is done at 7:39.
Impressive. All right. The next up we have this Personnel and Civil Service Committee, Chairwoman Melton.
Thank you, Chairman Pascal. The time is now 7:39, and I can't guarantee that I will be as efficient as Councilman Vargo. However, I will try. The Personnel and Civil Service Committee is now in session. Present are Councilman Vargo, Councilman Donovan, Councilman Johnstone, and myself.
Councilwoman Melton acting as chair, absent is Councilman Locks. From tonight's agenda, we have before us Communication C from Mayor Dorinda Borer regarding the reappointment of Paul Butler, 8 Alexander Drive, West Haven, Connecticut, to the West Haven Board of Police Commissioners. Mr. Butler's reappointment will be effective immediately and will expire on November 1, 2030. I am looking for a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Any discussion from the committee? I'll open it to the whole council. And Mayor Borer, would you like to say something?
Sure. First of all, I want to thank Paul for his service on the police commission. I think he's done a great job. When there was a resignation, he stepped up as the chairman of the police commission. He has been fair. He's been very professional. Really critical on the police commission is keeping everything confidential. There's an executive session where very sensitive, critical information is discussed, and he's really set the tone for the whole police commission and how, the decorum of the department. So he's certainly worthy of a reappointment.
Anyone else like to speak? Okay. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next is Communication D from Mayor Dorinda Borer regarding the appointment of Robin Watt Hamilton, 92 Bedford Street, West Haven, Connecticut, to the Citizen Advisory Committee. Ms. Hamilton will be replacing Jeffrey L. Marino, whose term has expired and will be effective immediately and will expire on November 1, 2028. Looking for a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion from the committee members?
Yes.
Councilman Donovan.
Thank you. I've known Mrs. Hamilton for quite a few years. She's not only a friend, but she was a mentor when she was on the council with me, and she is definitely a people person. Citizens Advisory Committee is a perfect spot for her, and I think she's going to do this committee very well. A good job on this committee, and I wish her the best on it. And thank you, Mayor, for choosing her. Thank you.
Anyone else on the committee? Councilman Vargo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an absolutely critical committee to be on. It services a lot of folks who are in need, and I know the decisions are very, very tough about where funds are going to be allocated, and I think that Robin is an absolute perfect person for this position. I thank you for jumping back in, and Mayor, great job with this one. Thank you.
Great. Anyone else from the committee? Opening it to the full council. Councilman McMillan.
I was like, say my name. I actually absolutely think this would be a great addition to our Citizen Advisory Committee. I've worked with Robin on the council. She's been a great person, and I think this would be just ideal for her. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Tucker.
Yep. So I too fully support Robin Watt Hamilton and her nomination for this role. I've known Robin all my life, literally, since the time I was born. There's no better person to kind of do this work. She has a magnetic personality. She's seen as a trusted member of our community. People seek her out for information and advice and guidance. And I think there's no better person to take Jeff's place than Robin Hamilton. I fully support her. And thank you for considering Robin.
Great. Mayor Borer, would you like to say something? Oh, I'm sorry. So, Melly?
I'll only take.
Councilwoman.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm Melly. I'll only take a few minutes. I worked with Robin the first time I was on the council, and she was great to work with. I'm so excited for you, and I think this will be perfect. And thank you for stepping up again for your community, and thank you, Mayor, for a great appointment.
Okay, anyone else from the council? Mayor Boer?
She's back. Yes, obviously a good appointment because, as Chris said, this is a very important board that evaluates some of our community organizations and provides funding for those critical needs that are safety nets in our community. And Robin is very familiar with them. So I know she's going to be fair. I know she's going to do her homework, and she's going to make some really good educated decisions. So, the experience, not just on the council, but the work you do in the community is one of the reasons why you'll be a valuable member of this committee. So thank you. Thanks for stepping up.
Okay, any other comments?
Thank you. Thank you. As the mayor knows, it's very hard to find good people to serve. It's just, it's something that people don't do anymore. And, you really have to think that when she found Robin, she found somebody great to fill this role. And I think it's a testament to what we're doing here. I think you're going to be terrific at this. And I'm glad to see you back in this role. And I want to thank you for stepping up and taking Jeff's role. So thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, so we will vote all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Moving on to communication E from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding the appointment of Bridget Hosky, 326 Washington Avenue, West Haven, Connecticut, to the Parks and Recreation Commission. Ms. Hosky will be replacing Shannon Friel, whose term has expired and will be effective immediately and will expire on November 1, 2030. Looking for a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Opening it to the committee. Any discussion? Okay. All right, let's go around like this. Councilman Donovan.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman. I've known Mrs. Hosky for many years, back Seahawk days, when her son played. And the beauty of that was, as loud as anything was, I knew exactly where Miss Hosky was in the stands, and it was all for the kids. She will protect the kids right to her dying day. She has a huge heart, and the love that she puts out to these kids is impeccable. So I wish you good luck over there, and I think that the Park and Rec Commission will now have teeth, if you want, and they will be heard. And I mean that in a very good way. So I think this is an excellent choice. So thank you, Council.
Okay, I'm opening it up to the entire council because I can't distinguish who's on the committee and who isn't. So, Councilman McMillan.
I second what our Councilman Gary Donovan has said. I've known Bridget ever since her children at Career High School, and I think this is a great appointment, and I think he'll do the job, and she loves the kids. Thank you.
Okay, Councilwoman Callahan.
I thank you. I hear but good things, so congratulations. But I just wanted to bring up, I don't know if it's a typo or just because on our notes it says
Her name.
8/1,
Yeah, I think.
but I think it's supposed to be November.
What?
On the bottom. It expires 8/1.
8/1/2030.
Yeah, so that's correct.
Oh, well, I wrote.
2030.
I corrected it in my
Expiration
note.
date.
On the communication, it says 8/31, and on the agenda, it says 8/1. So yes, there is a typo.
Okay,
But it should be November 1, 2030, right?
should be November 1.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think because it's filling a position that probably expired at that time.
Okay.
I think I used.
So it should be 8/1/2030. So we make that correction.
Or is it 8/31?
8/31 on the communications has to match.
Yeah.
Well, hold that thought. It's in my office.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Well, you could.
So continue with the accolades.
Yeah.
Yes. Best of luck.
Just check.
Okay, anyone else? Councilwoman Tucker.
Well, to continue pouring it on real thick. I too remember Bridget from Seahawks days when my kids play football and all the traveling down to Wide World of Sports down in Florida because we were always winning. But Bridget has always been a strong advocate for the kids and has really always just come through, especially for her cheerleaders. And but also served on the council, and I had the pleasure of serving on the council with Bridget, who then led the finance committee, and just taught me a lot about how this process works. So I know that your heart is in it, and that you're committed to kind of doing all this work to support the city of West Haven, which I think is most important. And I'm sure Park and Rec will be much, much better now that you're a part of it. So thank you for stepping up, and I fully support your nomination.
Councilman Vargo.
Thank you. The Parks and Rec Commission really supports the Park and Rec Department, which, among other things, is really the driving force of what supports our children and our youth here. And I honestly cannot think of a more perfect person than Bridget. Her heart is with the kids first and foremost, always. And as Councilman Donovan said, now, I'm sure everybody on the commission does a fine job, but there's going to be a very vocal and very strong-willed person there to make sure that our kids are taken care of. And I cannot think of a more perfect place, and I thank you.
Councilwoman Garthwaite.
I think this is excellent. I haven't seen Councilwoman Hosky for a while. I got to sit next to her for 2 years, and my goodness, it was always lively. And I miss that liveliness, I'll have to say. And I think this is a perfect, Mayor, thank you for this appointment. It's perfect for you. And I want to echo Councilman Donovan's statement that now it will have teeth, because certainly Councilwoman Hosky has teeth, and she's not afraid to use them. So, thank you.
Chairman Pascal, and then I'll go to Mayor Moore. You'll have the last word.
Bridget's a favorite. I just wish she wasn't so meek and timid at times.
Mayor Borer.
Just to clarify, it is 8/31 because the term that expired from the person who was in the position expired at 8/31, so we have to fill that gap. And we stagger appointments, so everybody's not due at the same time. So we try to align it with when that last one expired. So that's why they put 8/31.
So we can make that change in our...
Well, it's in the letter as 8/31.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. And then to Bridget. So, obviously Bridget is very dedicated and committed when she's involved in something, no matter what it is. And she's raised her children who have had a lot of involvements in our park and recreation. So she's very familiar with, what the roles, responsibilities are, what our fields are, what our playgrounds are, what our, programs are. And I think she's going to add a lot to the conversation and a lot of good perspective that will make our everything just a little bit better. So I appreciate her coming back. I know you've had a lot of promotions and employment, so you needed to balance that out. But I'm glad that you're going to be back on board and be a part of the team again. Thanks.
Councilman Varga, will you...
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to offer an amended motion, and I'd like to amend Ms. Hosky's appointment to expire on August 31st of 2030. I make an amended motion.
Second.
All in favor? Is that what I do?
Aye.
Aye.
This is from the committee, right? All right.
It's supposed to be.
All right. All in favor? Anyone in opposition to this motion? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. All right, moving on. Moving on to communication F from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding the reappointment of Joseph Vecchio, 27 Eagle Place, West Haven, Connecticut, to the Planning and Zoning Panel of Alternates Commission. Mr. Vecchio's reappointment will be effective immediately and will expire on November 1, 2027. I'm looking for a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion in committee?
I'll speak quickly. Yeah, as liaison to the planning and zoning, he's Joe's very knowledgeable in there in the meetings, and he really helps them out up there a lot. So this is a very good reappointment. I'm glad he still wants to be on this committee. So
Great. Anyone else on the committee? On the council? Councilwoman Garthwaite?
I want to say that I know Joe personally. He is a lovely, lovely man, and I think this is great that he's getting reappointment. Thank you, Mayor.
I agree with what Councilman Donovan said. He brings a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge because he's been doing this for a number of years. I too am glad that he wants to stay on because that institutional knowledge is always so important. We had a lot of critical projects these last couple of years, and planning and zoning worked really well together. And hopefully we're going to have more projects, and we need that experience on board. So it's a good appointment, and I appreciate the consideration.
Wonderful. Anyone else? Okay, we'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. And that concludes the business of the Personnel and Civil Service Committee. The time is now 7:56. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. We will now we will now reconvene to the whole council at 7:57. Next up, we have unfinished business. There is none, which will bring us back to committee reports. And I'll have the clerk please read Communication A, overpayment refunds, into the record at this time.
Communication A from the tax collector regarding overpayment refunds for November 2025, which will be filed with tonight's minutes.
Thank you very much. All right, first up on report back is Councilman Bargo, Finance Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your Committee on Finance met this evening on November 24, 2025, to consider the matter of Communication B from Michael Gormany, Director of Finance, regarding approval of transfer of funds in the amount of $30,000 from unallocated contingency line item 19009990-56010 to Public Works Department personnel item 144040472-51000 for the adjustment of to salary range for mechanic position. The committee unanimously approved, and be it resolved that the City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves transfer of funds from account number 19009990-56010 unallocated contingency fund to account number 144040472-51000 Public Works personnel in the amount of $30,000 for the purpose of supporting a salary range adjustment and salary increase for the position of lead mechanic, and welder mechanic within the Department of Public Works, and I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding a transfer of funds in the amount of $30,000 for the adjustment to salary range for mechanic's position. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
That concludes the matters of the Finance Committee, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Keep it going with the Legislative Matters Committee.
Absolutely. Mr. Chairman, the Legislative Matters Committee met this evening, November 24th, 2025, in regards to Communication C from the November 10, 2025 agenda from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding an amendment to Chapter 156, non-residential landlord registration, specifically Section 156-2B, increasing each notice of residential address change fee from $10 to $20, and Section 156-4 to increase the first violation fine from $250 to $500 and include the language or quote, or the maximum allowed by law, end quote. The committee unanimously approved the ordinance as drafted, and I will perform the second reading of the summary. An amendment to City Code Section 156, non-residential landlord registration, is being proposed. The amendment changes two sections, 156-2B, addressing the registration, and Section 156-4, addressing penalties for offenses. The amendment to 156-2B changes the $10 fee to $20 for a notice of change of address for the non-resident landlord living in West Haven. Language was also included to charge non-resident landlords living outside of West Haven a $100 registration fee and $20 fee for a notice of change to address. The amendment to Section 156-4 removed the existing dollar amount of the fine and replaces it with the language, quote, up to the maximum allowed by state of Connecticut statute, end quote. Currently, the maximum allowed by statute is $500 for a first-time violation and $1,000 for each subsequent violation. The added language allows the amounts to automatically change when the statute changes. Mr. Chairman, I move that we adopt the ordinance as drafted.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding an amendment to Chapter 156, non-residential landlord registration, specifically Section 156
Motion.
dash
Second.
2B. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All discussed out? Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met this evening on Communication D from the November 10, 2025 agenda for Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding an amendment to City Ordinance Section 101I, fees of the City of West Haven Fire Department, Allentown. It was the unanimous opinion of the committee that the ordinance be adopted as drafted, and I will perform the second read of the summary. An amendment to City Code Section 101I, fees of the City of West Haven, Allentown Fire Department. This proposed amendment adds a line for a business fee and increases all remaining fees by approximately $25. These fees have not been reviewed or adjusted in over 12 years, so those increases are necessary to account for increases in providing these services. And I move that the council adopts the agenda as drafted.
Thank you.
Ordinance is drafted, sorry.
Okay. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding an amendment to City Ordinance Section 101I, fees of the City of West Haven Fire Department, Allentown. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
That concludes the matters of the Legislative Matters Committee.
Fantastic. And last up, Personnel and Civil Service Committee, Chairwoman Melton.
Thank you. To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Committee on Personnel and Civil Service reports that the committee met on the 24th day of November 2025 to consider the matter of the appointment of Paul Butler, 8 Alexander Drive, West Haven, Connecticut, to the West Haven Board of Police Commissioners. Mr. Butler's appointment will be to fill the current vacancy and be effective immediately and will expire on November 1, 2030. It is a unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Resolved, the City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves the reappointment of Paul Butler, 8 Alexander Drive, West Haven, Connecticut, 06516, to the West Haven Board of Police Commissioners. Mr. Butler's reappointment will be effective immediately and will expire on November 1, 2030. And I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding the reappointment of Paul Butler to the West Haven Board of Police Commissioners. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Your Committee on Personnel and Civil Service reports that the committee met on the 24th day of November 2025 to consider the matter of the appointment of Robin Watt Hamilton, 92 Bedford Street, West Haven, Connecticut, to the Citizen Advisory Committee. Ms. Hamilton will be replacing Jeffrey L. Moreno, whose term has expired and will be effective immediately and will expire on November 1, 2028. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. The City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves the appointment of Robin Watt Hamilton, 92 Bedford Street, West Haven, Connecticut, 06516, to the Citizen Advisory Committee. Ms. Hamilton will be replacing Jeffrey L. Marino, whose term has expired and will be effective immediately and will expire on November 1, 2028. And I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding the appointment of Robin Watt Hamilton to the Citizen Advisory Committee. Do I have a second?
Second.
Couple seconds there. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Committee on Personnel and Civil Service reports that the committee met on the 24th day of November 2025 to consider the matter of the appointment of Bridget Hosky, 326 Washington Avenue, West Haven, Connecticut, to the Parks and Recreation Commission. Ms. Hosky will be replacing Shannon Friel, whose term has expired and will be effective immediately and will expire on August 31, 2030. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. The City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves the appointment of Bridget Hosky, 326 Washington Avenue, West Haven, Connecticut, 06516, to the Parks and Recreation Commission. Ms. Hosky will be replacing Shannon Friel, whose term has expired and will be effective immediately and will expire on August 31, 2030, and I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding the appointment of Bridget Hosky to the Park and Recreations Commission. Do I have a second?
Second.
I had to beat him.
Any discussion?
You should just give it to me just to mess with them.
I'm going to put 3 on that.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Committee on Personnel and Civil Service reports that the committee met on the 24th day of November 2025 to consider the matter of the reappointment of Joseph Viccellio, 27 Eagle Place, West Haven, Connecticut, to the Planning and Zoning Panel of Alternates Commission. Mr. Viccellio's reappointment will be effective immediately and will expire on November 1, 2027. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Resolved, the City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves the reappointment of Joseph Viccellio, 27 Eagle Place, West Haven, Connecticut, 06516, to the Planning and Zoning Panel of Alternates Commission. Mr. Viccellio's reappointment will be effective immediately and will expire on November 1, 2027. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following, and I so move.
You so move. Thank you very much. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding the reappointment of Joe Viccellio to the Planning and Zoning Panel of Alternates Commission. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Next up, we have council liaison reports. Any council liaison reports for this evening? Go on. Councilwoman Callahan.
I don't know really a report. I just want to say, to remind everybody about our tree lighting coming up Saturday, right? After Thanksgiving. Yep. This Saturday on the green. So it should be a good time. And just the report, at least from the 6th District, I was very happy to serve with everybody. And I wish everybody well that's moving on. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Any other council liaison reports? Okay, moving on to new business. Anybody have any new business? Councilman Donovan?
This is where this last meeting always ends up being long, right, at the end. It's been an honor and a privilege working with each and every one of you. For those that are leaving, it was definitely an honor. My butt over there in the corner, I'm going to miss you. But we'll always have conversations, especially about football. Bad weekend for both, but it is what it is. But for the new ones coming up, we have a couple in the audience now. Why? God bless you. But it's going to be good. This is a very good council. I've been on even the previous councils. You know, they've all been good. I like giving back to the community, and as does everybody up here. So thank you all for those of you who are leaving. And again, look forward to the ones that are staying to move this city forward again along with the mayor. So thank you all.
Any other new business? Councilwoman Mueller?
Yes, I do have something to say every once in a while. I just wanted to first thank the mayor for her, continued support and encouragement. That meant a lot to me. And the council, I appreciated every one of you. And it was an honor to serve alongside of all of you. And especially I want to thank my constituents who had faith in me to address their problems and just keep at it. I never gave up on them, and they never gave up on me. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other new business? Councilwoman Melton?
Forgive me, this might be a little longer than I expected that it was going to be, but it's not that long. I just want to say I, too, am deeply honored to have had the opportunity to serve as councilwoman for the 2nd District. And I want to thank my colleagues on the council for entrusting me with this responsibility because I wasn't elected by my constituents, but you did agree to entrust me with this role. And I am grateful to Mayor Borer for recommending me to step into the big shoes of Michelle Coletti. Mayor, it has been a privilege to work alongside you and to witness your leadership firsthand. West Haven is on a brighter and more stable path because of your vision and drive. And under your continued leadership, we can look forward with confidence to the years ahead. To my colleagues on the council, thank you sincerely for your guidance, your friendship, and your support. And Chairman Pascal and Councilman Vargo, your patience and insight and good humor made my transition into this role both smooth and meaningful. And I am deeply appreciative of the time and wisdom you shared with me, and in particular for the delicious chicken souvlaki you bought me at my onboarding meeting at the Duchess Diner. You knew the way to the Greek girl's heart. You really did. I hold tremendous respect for each member of this council. You work tirelessly, take your responsibilities seriously, and consistently demonstrate your commitment to serving the best interests of a city we all care deeply about. The residents of West Haven are fortunate to have such dedicated public servants working on their behalf. I am proud of the progress this administration and this council have achieved together. Public service is a sacred calling. I truly believe that. And I commend each of you for answering that call with integrity and heart. So thank you for the privilege of serving this great city. I look forward with great anticipation to what comes next, and I will see you on the other side.
Thank you, Councilwoman Melton. Councilman Johnstone?
Thank you, Chairman. I came in with a bang, so I always like to quote people. So here's the one I came with tonight. In the words of Lou Gehrig, I consider myself the luckiest man. If you ask my high school teachers from 20 years ago, I hated history and American government, and I barely passed them. When they found out I ran 4 years ago, they couldn't believe it, and they had to look it up online to make sure I wasn't lying. It's been interesting. I came in when the city was under fire, and now I'm leaving when things have soothed. It was the difference of two worlds. I could probably write a book on it. Thank you to my constituents. I got to do something that very few people get to do. And I want to thank everybody here because the challenge coming in was I have an R after my name. And for those who have gotten to know me very well, I don't care what letter you have. As long as you do what is right and you do what is true to yourself and you serve with a servant's heart, you will do just fine. So I will end with this the same way I came in. Measure twice, cut once. Thank you again.
Thank you, Councilman Johnstone. Any other new business? No? Yeah, sure.
We'll let our chairman go last. So yes, a few notes about new business. Yes, Dawn, Councilwoman Callahan. The tree lighting is Saturday night, right at 6 o'clock. I want to thank West Haven United because it's a group of volunteers and they have worked tirelessly to put together a great program, along with Andrew, who works in my office. It has been a godsend to me. So there's going to be food trucks and, the man in the red suit and a lot of entertainment. So that'll be great. I do have some pictures. Also, I want to mention, since we last met, University of New Haven had they had about 300 people at the Railroad Salvage building. Councilman Donovan was there. It's his district, talking about the project, the Innovation Center. They've already raised $25 million towards this project, and it's really incredible if you want to see the pictures. So we've been supportive of that project. It's very unique in the state. It's bringing together manufacturers and those in science together with students that are going to have practical experience. So it's going to be a pipeline for careers in those fields, fields like Sikorsky and, aromatics and things I don't even understand. But they're going to do that. We have that. Allentown Fire Department, we did promote. Thank you to everybody who came. Our Deputy Chief, Keith Flood. He has served in West Shore. He was in the Center District, West Shore, and now Allentown, so it's a trifecta for him. He has a lot of experience. He was a fire marshal, so he's going to bring a lot of that to the table, something that we need at the table. Style School finally closed. We got our check. I never say it's closing until I have that check in my hand, so it only stayed in my hand for about 5 seconds, but we did get that money. Malloy School is really moving along. Today we had a meeting with the Port Authority to talk about that April boat launch project, and it looks like we're on track maybe to get some of that funding. As you remember, it's in a study to revamp the dock, but it's just a study. We need to get the funding. Veterans Vietnam Memorial. Thank you to everybody who came for that. It was pretty cold, but we had a really great turnout, and we unveiled the new names. It was not only the Veterans Day ceremony, we unveiled the new names on the memorial slabs. Since then, we heard from some Vietnam veterans that said, I didn't know about it. We did put it in the Voice a couple of times, put it on the website. So we're looking at maybe adding some names for May. So just putting that out there if you know of any Vietnam veterans who were not included on that. So finally, I want to thank everybody who stepped up, those who are departing, starting with Katie. Katie was our school nurse and our educator, and she wanted to join on board because she wanted to advocate for the families and the children of our city, not just in education, but really just wanted to work to do what she can to provide the best quality of life. And you were very responsive to your constituents, and I know you fought hard for what you believed in. So thank you. But enjoy your enjoy your life. Yes, your retirement. Yes. I don't know why you wouldn't want to come to council meetings rather than, because it's always a pleasure. Steve, you say that, people wouldn't have thought it, but I know about a little picture of you sitting on Rich Bohr's chair behind his mayor's desk when you were about how old? Fourth grade. Yep, with your With your little ears sticking out and your little, yes, and your little suspenders. So maybe it was a little star was born back then. But I want to thank you for your bipartisan work. You always were willing to talk about things. You're very reasonable. You study your issues, and you're very good for your council, for your district. So thank you for everything. And we're going to miss you here in your theatrics. No. We love it. Brian is not here, but I want to thank him for stepping up at a time when we needed him. And a big shout out to him. And then Ruby, no, you weren't elected by your constituents, but your constituents certainly benefited from your service. I called you that day and said, well, Michelle Coletti, she got a position. She's moving to New York. And did you ever think about serving in office? And you've served in just about every other capacity, from boards and commissions, to your legal status too. So thank you stepping up when we needed you. And I know you are not too far, right at West Walk. We will be tapping into you if you have the time. Last but not least, I want to thank our chairman who is moving on. 2 years ago, I don't care how experienced and knowledgeable and how ready we are. It's it's a little scary time, right? Stepping into the position of mayor and council and leading the city, and especially leading it at the time that were challenging for us. And you were such an amazing partner. You gave everybody a voice on this council. You worked with me. You just were professional. I don't know how it was different from your first stint, right? But maybe that experience made you just the polished person that you are. So we wish you all the best. We're going to miss you. But we know that everybody has to balance life, right? And other great things going on. So we certainly understand. Thank you for talking me off the ledge a few times. I would call him. He's working at, Costco. And and he'd say, okay, is there anything else? No, that's okay. I just wanted to vent because some days are rough. And some days, honestly, you need to call somebody and kind of let it out. And you were my outlet. So so thank you to everybody, those of you who are not leaving, for all the work that you've done. We've done an amazing amount of work in 2 years. We've made strides, and, it's been great. And I look forward to the next two. And the next meeting, we'll kick off with our new members. We have 2 new in the audience, so hopefully we didn't scare you tonight, and we'll see you right after the inauguration. So thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Mayor Boer. That's far too kind, but we did make a great team, didn't we? I just want to say I'm just from the first time I ran for anything in my 20s to now, I've always been I always felt very lucky and very humbled to serve the citizens of West Haven. And I think with that comes a little bit of imposter syndrome, right? Like, oh my God, what am I doing here? Somebody else better could be here. But, stepping up and sitting in these seats is a very hard job to do. Sometimes it's thankless, and sometimes you can do things here that really mean the world to just one person, and that's enough, right? I want to thank you guys for buying into this way we did things over the last 2 years. It wasn't easy at times, but we wanted to put the best face forward for the city of West Haven, and project a calmness and a professionalism that I think really shined through. I remember when I ran for mayor in 2015. I did not win then, but I remember going door to door and telling people if we kept down the same path, we were going to end up in Marb. And we did, and I just feel very lucky to be here on this council with all of you when we told Marb to take a hike, and that's very special to me. I'll remember that for the rest of my life. I just want to wish the new council all the best of luck. Learn from the people who have been here before you. If you need to call me, I'm sure you can find my number. I'm a wealth of knowledge, as folks have found out. And compromise. It's all about compromise. And I urge people to get involved in the city of West Haven. It's become very hard to find people to serve. And get involved in any form of government you can, volunteer, whatever it is. We definitely need that. And we did some amazing things over the last 2 years, and I wish for the next 2 years to be even better. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
I have a
Second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried.